Hello, 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 everybody. Yes, we are actually live after a month off. Welcome back to TNT, and it's a very special one tonight. And at some point, there we are. There we are. And I brought some friends with me tonight. So we thank you guys for showing up and for being a part of this very special TNT. And as you can see, I am joined by the Supremes. I am joined by three and actually four in a few minutes outstanding leaders, and we are blessed to have you all with us. What I want you to do for me is do me a favor and share this with your friends. This is a historic event, and you want to be able to say you were there live and saw all four of these. Well, actually, three of these ladies, and then this dude that was here with them. But we are blessed to have these wonderful leaders that are joining us for this very special TNT, and we're glad this is the new season of TNT. We haven't been live in a month, so we're glad to be back with you, and welcome everybody. Again, share this, like it, share it, and I'm hearing myself. Anyway, we want to welcome everybody to want to welcome our panelists. We have just some amazing leaders, amazing women. I know they all happen to be, I've been emphasizing leaders, but they all happen to be brilliant women. And we were a bit intentional with that because this is called the New Agenda. And these are the new breed of leaders. These women are on the cutting edge of different aspects of industry and education and businesses and all kind of stuff. They're doing everything. They're doing it all, and they're doing it all extremely well. And so I thought about doing it like the Lakers do it. And now, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do a starting lineup. But I will start with the one that's joining us from the furthest, all the way from Louisville, Kentucky. She is the I don't want to just say entrepreneur, but she is she is an entrepreneur to the extreme. She has at last count, I think there's at least 4 or 5 different industries that she is operating in. But Vashawn Nicole Mosby is with us all the way from Louisville, Kentucky. Vashawn, welcome. Come on, let's get a round of applause, everybody.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Glad to have
you. Bishop,
just say hi to the people.
I say hi to the people. Well, hello, you all. I'm gonna try not to say y'all, because hey, y'all. But I am glad to be here this evening, and glad to be in the number with these beautiful women as well.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. We are honored to have you, and we're going to come. Let's see. How should we go? We're going to go a little bit south, a little Southern California right now, although she is originating from the great state of Michigan.
Come on now.
But we are honored and blessed to have, and all these ladies are my friends, but we're blessed to have my friend, and I got to give her props, Dr. Alexandra M. Burrell. Give God praise for her. She is in the higher education. She is in academia, and she is at the University of Laverne. And you can tell us all that you're doing because she has been elevated She's been, and see, since she came to California, let me just say this: since she came to California, elevation has occurred. So I'll throw that in. I don't know. West Side, anyway. Represent.
My testimony.
Alexandra Burrell, ladies and gentlemen. Give God praise for her as she comes.
Well, hello. Bishop, you definitely summed it up in a nutshell. I am grateful to be here in the presence of such greatness. And my story is one like many others, where when you follow God's voice and his instruction, whether it looks like what you planned or not, whether it looks enticing in the beginning or not, it always works out. It's always in God's plan. So I am a product of that and his grace. So I'm just grateful to be here amongst you all. I am Alexandra Burrell. I hold a PhD and I work with many different organizations, but my main job here in the Southern California area is Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer at the University of Laverne. So
she said that fast, but it was a lot in there. Chief Equity and Diversity.
Yes,
she's
sir.
Running things. She's running things.
Go ahead.
That's how we say it. You know, she's running things.
I'm gonna slow down for the remainder of the conversation to make sure I get all of it out.
Yes, indeed. Well, welcome. We thank God for you. And I don't want to go. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out how. I'm gonna jump her on in real quick. So I don't want to say like I'm holding my own member last but not least. So the incomparable, and I always like to call her that because there's no one like Ruby Green Farmer. She is of course she is the worship leader, minister of music at Spirit and Life Ministry. So I'm a bit partial to her, but also she also is a extremely gifted and talented recording artist, and puts all the music out independent on Good People Club Entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. And she's amazing. And I just said, I want to have her involved in this because she is in this entertainment thing. So that's a whole nother area where women are leading. And I think it's awesome. So Ruby, welcome. We're glad to have you with us.
Thank you for having me, Bishop Hamilton, amongst all these beautiful ladies. Thank you for considering me.
Oh, no. It was easy. We're grateful for all that you do. And see, Ruby is going to be trying to be low key, but
No, I'm
I know her works. I know her work, but she's gifted. And I will say this too, and all of these great leaders and great women have extraordinary parents, and of course she has a couple of great parents as well, and we thank God for them making the gifted Ruby. And Ruby has been with Spirit Life now, almost 5 years, huh?
Bishop Hamilton, I've been at the church for 8 years.
8 years?
Yes.
I'll check the record on that. I don't think that. Ruby done came on here telling a story. It's 2021. No, okay. Yeah, I guess it is.
Because I got married before I came to the church before I got married. I've been married for 7 years.
Wow.
I know, time flies.
That is amazing. Well, she's been with us 8 years. Oh, new beginnings. Awesome. And last but certainly not least, you know her, you love her. She is the founder of Guru Virtual Assist. She is a preacher, a teacher, prayer warrior, associate pastor, and she is the one that has made Steve Hamilton Ministries blow up. Boom. Anyway, Giovanni Oates, ladies and gentlemen, Lady G is in the building. Give God praise for her.
Hey. Hello, everybody. Hello, I'm so honored to be with you all on tonight. Just fantastic. These women are outstanding. I follow them and I see what they do, and I'm just excited to be part of this conversation. So thank you, Bishop, for the invitation.
Oh, well, you all have blessed me. And see, notice Giovanni had the whole preaching sounding voice. I'm so honored to be here.
My preacher voice on. Oh my goodness.
She threw an on tonight in there. So that's preaching. But so welcome all of you, and we just want to have a nice little discussion tonight. I don't know. I know we're going to be a little over our normal time for TNT, but I thought I'd start the fall season off with a good discussion. And all of you that are watching, all of you that are tuning in, please share this, like this, make sure all your friends. We're going everywhere. We're on. Let's see where we are on. All over Facebook. We're all over YouTube. We're everywhere. So and all of y'all got a chance. All the panelists, you have a chance to kind of share it and tell your friends. Because I know all of y'all got a crew behind you, and let them know that you are live and then living. This is not a recording, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. So anyway, I want to start off and have a bit of a conversation with you, and we're going to have some fun. But we wanted to what I wanted to hear from you, and what I really want you to be able to share with us tonight. I got some questions I want to ask, and I might not ask them in the right order, but I'm just going to get to them. But the first thing I wanted you all to do is to tell me how you're doing. Now, I know that's something that people normally just say to you, like, "Hey, how you doing?" And we all have those fake answers. Giovanni was so blessed and highly favored, or something. I'm just teasing. I'm sorry. I'm messing with you because I love you. But we have those answers. But after the year of 2021, and one thing I thought about, 2019 wasn't exactly a picnic either, and so a lot of us were looking at 2020 like, oh, I can't wait for 2020. Oh, the vision, 2020 vision. Oh, we gonna see it all clearly, and then 2020 turned out to be, 2020. And then I read something interesting today from Kerry Newhoff. He said that what we did was we looked at 20. We thought, okay, 2020, we learned how to navigate through it. And we got through 2020 and we were, but the thing was, in 2020, we all thought we were running a marathon. We thought, okay, if I could just get through this year. He said, yeah, we thought we were running a marathon. And then just when we thought we were finished, someone handed us a bike and a bathing suit. In 2021 revealed that it is actually not just a triathlon, but an Ironman triathlon. And so I think, and when I saw that today, I said, I feel every piece of that. And so when I ask you, when I'm saying how you're doing, I really sincerely want to know how you're doing. How are you doing emotionally, mentally, physically? How are you all doing? I mean, really. And when I'm asking you that, please know, when I ask you, I really want to know how you're doing. I want to know. So share with us. Anybody can jump in. I don't want to assign questions. I just want y'all to jump in when you feel ready.
Well, Bishop,
go ahead.
Well, Bishop, when you said 2019 wasn't also great, you took the words right out of my mouth, because 2019 was tough. It was rough. It was a place with a dark place where I thought, my God, what in the world is happening here? But I said, okay, at the end of the year, 2020 is going to get here and it's going to get better. And it's like, it was the first time, I would say in 2020, that I had to deal with anxiety. The first time. I've never been there before. I've never been in a place where I was just restless. Never been in a place where I have felt, I'll use the word, helpless at times. I know God is with us, but there was times where I just felt like, why and how is this going to change? Why is it happening? So it was tough, but I can honestly say that I am settled in my spirit, settled in my emotions, and I am better. Is everything perfect right now? No, not at all. I'm still waiting for God to work out everything, but I'm settled where I know, okay, things are going to turn around, and my hope is in God. So yeah.
So yeah, that's an interesting. And I saw heads nodding when you were saying anxiety, because that was a lot of us, and it's funny being people of faith when you're feeling all these anxious moments and you're not really sure, and that uncertainty. We like, as much as we like to walk by faith and not by sight, we like a lot of sight though. We like a lot of stuff to be on sight. And so anybody else want to weigh in? Jump in.
Well, I'll jump in. I'll say I am coming back. I don't know if you all can relate to this, but in 2019, I was on autopilot. So I went into 2020 just on autopilot. And then March 2020 came and boom, I was hit by a brick wall. I was like, wait, okay, I have to stop because the world. So how do we pivot from the entire world shutting down?
Right.
that was the first part, because I'm used to going 6 or 7 meetings a day. I'm going there, I'm traveling, I'm doing great, doing great work. You do when you can't do it. So now you have to pivot, and not only pivot in how you do work, but how you work with others. I'm tech savvy, so I can run my business on my phone with no problem. How do you do that when you have a partner or a strategic alliance that doesn't know how to get on Zoom? And I'm like, wait, we have to have this call because billable hours. Right. So we had to learn how to pivot. I had to teach, learn, and move and work. And I hit a moment, I call it a dark moment of the soul. I was like, okay, God, I know you do all things well. I don't question your sovereignty, but I don't like this and I'm not feeling it. Yeah.
Right.
I went through that moment. I had a real God. I've been saved 30 years of my life. And I literally said, you know what? I need a moment. And in those moments, I stepped away from social media and I actually got in the face of God. I had to actually force myself to get back to the place where I was. I was like, okay, listen, I need to pray. I need to get in worship. I need to get myself together before I go out and do stuff for everybody else. So once I filled my cup again, because I noticed I was giving more than I was receiving. Once I filled my cup again, then I was ready to get out and do what God called me to do.
Amen. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Awesome. Ruby, Alexandra, who wants to jump in?
Well, I'll say I was actually relieved. Like, I can kind of relate because I was in 2019. It was a lot going on in Bishop Mountain. I don't know if you remember, I had got shingles in 2020.
Oh yeah.
The doctor said it was stress related, and I'm not old enough to be getting shingles. So I'm like, okay, so it was definitely stress related. And it was just, like you said, just moving, just constantly going. So when everything shut down, I have to be honest, I was like, thank you, oh God. Like, it was the best thing. And then even coming to church, like, it was just like 4 of us, it wasn't like a gang of us, and it wasn't like you had to manage a full team and a full, band and a full, you know what I mean? Like, it was really just like, I think when we broke everything down, it was more like just strictly about worship and which is, I love that, so it wasn't like about teaching parts and, sending out songs and just being so, hands-on, which I love too. But to me, 2020 was, like you said, a chance to kind of regroup, even though a lot of people didn't like it. I definitely appreciated it from the beginning, and when we opened back up, I was happy, but I was glad that I was able to get a chance to, like, kind of step back for a minute and regroup.
I think I'm going to interject before the good doctor goes ahead and does her thing. But I think that, it's interesting that because 2020, you've kind of, the Lord stripped away all the props to come back and like, okay, let's see who's real. We found out who you all in your businesses and in your careers were finding out, okay, this is how we got to navigate now. You had to pivot, you had to adjust. And then not only did you pivot and adjust in March, but you had to pivot and adjust probably in June or July. You had to pivot, adjust again in August. You were kept, it was an ongoing adjustment period. And then it was time to actually reflect. And I mean, I did enjoy the when there was about 7 to 10 of us down here at the church, but it was different. But it was also you were learning a new way. So I think that's an interesting perspective, because it did give us a chance to kind of like, okay, let's do something different, and let's see how this works. And we made it, and the Lord helped us make it work. I got something I'm going to say about that in a second. Alexandra.
Okay, so I'll add on to what's already been said and say that right now I'm in a state of ownership and still transitioning. So at the end of 2019 was when I transitioned to California, started a new job. And within 2 weeks of getting here is when I defended my dissertation and became Dr. Burrell, right? So
don't be throwing no quotes on there. That's your own doctorate now.
I do that for a reason, because part of the ownership and the transition that I'm in is owning who I am.
Yeah.
And after 7.5 years of going through a process to become Dr. Burrell, I still, when I introduce myself, don't always say Dr. because I'm still not embodying all of that to the fullness of what it is. So I've been dealing with some imposter syndrome over the last 1.5 years. I think the last year, 2020, was a shield for me. It allowed me the opportunity to stay safe within a comfort zone where I was healing from 7 years of what I call trauma. Not everyone would consider it the same type of trauma of what others would experience, but it was trauma for me. So to go from to get into a point where everyone is celebrating you and saying congratulations, where my whole self felt trauma.
Wow.
And so I honestly feel like the pandemic and what happened with the world gave me the opportunity to heal in a personal space.
Awesome.
So as devastating as it was for so many, it was healing for me.
Yeah.
And it provided an opportunity for a safe space and a haven where I could commune with God. You know, there was no community church. There was church online. There was like, your own relationship. You got to work through some of these things yourself. You literally got to own up to some stuff. So at this point, I am in a state of ownership because I'm finally saying, like, I deserve to say that I went through this, that I accomplished this, that this is who I am. But it took a while to get here. So I would say that whole end of 19, all of 2020, and most of 21, and me coming into that and learning who I am all over again, because I'm a different person than what I was when I went into it. So who am I now? What makes me happy? What fulfills me? What's my purpose?
Right.
How does it align with where I am right now? Am I still in alignment with God's will for my life? Like, there are so many things that happen. So for me, this is my stage or my time of ownership.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, the panel has been awesome already, right? So, I mean, goodness, you all, and I think it's important to touch on some of those things you're just talking about in terms of the imposter syndrome. The funny thing about the pandemic and the shutdown to me was all of us kind of, I'm sure we kind of felt isolated to a certain extent, even though, you know, we have people that you're connected to. But that isolation of, okay, I know a lot of times I'm down here, you know, talking to a screen and talking to a camera, what have you. But it was just like, wow, you're really down here. You're spending a lot of time by yourself. And so when you're spending a lot of time by yourself, a lot of us, as Alexandra touched on, that imposter syndrome. Am I really supposed to be here? Am I really good enough, or am I just fooling everybody, so to speak? And but to be able to finally embrace that is an awesome thing. And I think and I think that's one of the blessings of 2020 and the shutdown and all that's going, and 2021, because it ain't like it's over.
Because it ain't over. Right.
You know, Bishop,
Go ahead.
I love how Alexandra brought that up. Dr. Burrell brought that up because she was able to identify what she was feeling. A lot of times we go through different things and we're feeling things and we're going, things are happening, but we're not able to identify what's going on.
Yeah.
The place when I was in darkness, I did not realize I was grieving.
Yeah.
Did not realize. And what was I grieving? I was grieving all of my plans. I had an agenda. I had a timeline. I had things that I wanted to accomplish. I had things already worked out. And when 2019 wasn't working out and 2020 hit, my spirit just, I was able to encourage somebody else. I was able to preach and say to somebody else, it's going to be all right. It's going to come to pass. But when it came to me, it took me a while to identify that I was grieving. And when that happened, I was like, oh, Lord, what in the Lord, what's going on? Through this. So I think it's awesome to be able to identify and not just allow yourself to be overwhelmed with the emotion. We have to go to God and say, Lord, what is this? Lord, help me, shift me, help me to see what are you trying to do here. So I love what you shared.
Yeah. I think that, and one of the main overriding challenges for the world was even how to grieve or how to process, because there was so much loss in 2020 and continues to be. And so that had to change. All these things had to change, and it was an involuntary change. And I think we lost Vashon, but I know she'll be back in a second. I guess you got to be back in a second. But anyway, but yeah, I think that those are. I mean, you all have dropped some excellent information, especially even. And one of the things I'm amazed about, and I want to say this, and I want you to get this in your spirit. And Giovanni and I kind of touched on this the other day, but anybody that has come through, and I was telling, I think Bishop House a few weeks ago, Bishop House from Vegas, and I said, if you came through 2020 and through 2021 so far, you deserve to be celebrated. You deserve to be, because if you are still, pastoring and leading, or you're doing whatever you're doing, you're still clothed and in your right mind after 2023. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And so, and all of us have had these different challenges, and you've kind of touched on this, but let me ask this question: how much has your life changed since March of 2020? We'll just go back to March. I know a lot of us, we can go back to 2019, but if you want to just talk about how your life has changed, and I told you Vashon was going to be back. She's back. All right. How has it changed? And you can change how much has it changed for the better? Some of you have touched on that already. Some things have improved, but I think maybe a lot of the improvement might have been from the inside out. But anyway, I don't want to put words in y'all. But how has your life changed?
I think for me, I don't take any. You just assume certain people are going to be there. You're going to assume that business will go the way that it should go. You're going to always have time. I'll work on this tomorrow. We'll meet next week. I'll catch up next month. And to me, the pandemic has shown me you could be here today and gone tomorrow. So cherish the things, cherish the relationships, cherish your children. I have 2 children, one soon to be an adult, and I have an adult child. And so now I'm looking at them differently, like, wow, if y'all, then what? What's going to happen? What about the pandemic? How's that going to look for us? So I'm being very, and that's kind of been my word for this year, intentional about everything.
Right. Awesome. I love it. Who else? Ruby looked like she ready to say something. Ruby, like, I wasn't trying to say nothing. I was really but anyway, you want to jump in on that? Wait a minute. Wait, come on.
It's like I can't hear. I don't know.
You can't hear?
I can hear.
We can hear you.
So fuzzy. My computer's been crazy this whole time, but I can't really hear. But I'll maybe come off and come back on, because then most time you don't have to do something.
Okay. Go off and come back on, and in the meantime, Alexandra's going to tell us what she's how she's changed.
I'll be honest and tell you the first thing that came to my mind was I can no longer wear stretch pants during the day. Right? Because it's like, okay, from March until 3 weeks ago, I was able to wear lounge clothes on the bottom half, and then right, make sure you good up top.
Right.
So that's one thing. I will say that I started to value FaceTime and video calls a whole lot more.
Right.
I've always lived away from my family for the most part. I've lived in different states. So it became I had to be a bit more intentional. My family are now 3-hour different time difference.
Right.
So really being intentional about connecting with the ones you love and in your circle. I think that was something that I started to value a little more over the time. Me and my girlfriends do FaceTimes almost every day at this point, group FaceTime. Wanting to make sure that the people you care about know and see you if they can't see you in person. So living alone, being single, I don't have children. I live alone. I'm in a 1-bedroom. So my home space, which was my relaxing space, became my space. So people always say, "Oh, separate the two." Well, that's hard to do for someone who lives in a 1-bedroom apartment that does not have an office. So my office was in my living room or the floor or wherever I decided to open up my laptop. So I had to be a bit more intentional just over the time of finding time for me.
Right.
Work started to consume a lot of my day. I wasn't shutting down the computer until 9-10 o'clock, and then I was headed to bed. And it was like, okay, I never had time for me. So since March, I will say I went through a full transition where we're figuring out what's a healthy balance. I don't necessarily believe in work-life balance, because when people say that they say it like it should be equal, and it shouldn't, because so many different aspects that should be considered within that process or that paradigm. So figuring out what that looks like for me. So I'll say since March, I've figured out what balance, holistic balance looks like for me in my life. I've also started to value my friends and family and how I remain connected to them during this time, regardless if we're safer at home or not, like being connected to them, period. So I want to be a bit more intentional about those relationships. And then my relationship with God, like I literally had all the time in the world to say, let's chat.
Right. Let's have a word.
We were doing a whole lot of talking. I mean, I was doing a lot of talking, but I was doing a lot of listening too. So.
Right. And that's the important thing too, is to do that listening, get that listening.
So it was interesting to be in your own space. I think a lot of times we allow other things to distract us and to help us determine what happiness looks like. And so as people start to ask the question like, oh, what do you do to make you happy, or what makes you happy? And they start mentioning things about that include other people.
Right.
And I was like, well, what if those people weren't involved?
Right.
Would you still find the same joy in that? So really figuring out me during that time. So it's been an interesting year and a half.
I got you. Yes, Giovanni, what has changed?
For me, and I'm going to piggyback on what the ladies have already shared, enjoying my family, not taking them for granted. We're hearing so many things. 1 minute, someone is here. 1 minute, they're gone. On social media, a family member, you're seeing all kinds of things. So not taking those relationships for granted, loving on them, and making sure we spend most of spending time with them. But one of the biggest things, the work I had to do was on the inside. What I learned during this time is that my happiness is my responsibility. Wow. There are some things that we want God to do for us, but God, He promised us salvation. He didn't promise that He was going to do everything for us. And so then what I had to do was make some adjustments in my life. I heard Dr. Burrell say, she's single and doesn't have children. And I'm the same thing, at home, working in the office in the daytime. Then at nighttime, go downstairs and, clicking on Netflix, looking at these series. After a while, you get tired of that. And so I had to make adjustments for me and start making sure that I do things that I enjoy. For a minute, we couldn't go out, too much. But now, every other Friday, afternoon, I block that and I'm going to lunch. I'm going out. I'm going somewhere I can be served. I'm going to go do something. I'm going to go on I'm in San Diego, so I'm going to go on a harbor cruise. I don't care. I'm going to go bowling if it means I have to do it by myself. And I love how Dr. Burrell brought up doing it by yourself, because indeed we enjoy our friends and our family, but having the courage to get up and enjoy you, to learn you. This pandemic has taught me to spend time with God, but having confidence in me and enjoy me, learning me. And that was a big deal. So my happiness is my responsibility. If I'm sitting at home being miserable, that's my fault.
That's your fault.
If I got my lips poked out, that's my fault. Just things that are happening. Get up and go out and do something. And so, yeah, that makes a difference. And then one more thing I'll add is that I was working 7 days a week. Wow. I stopped that. I stopped that. I was like, no. Trying to make that dollar, trying to please my clients. And I love each and every one of my clients. I really, really do. But all money.
You love me more, though. You love me more, I think.
Absolutely. And God, what? Wait a minute. I just heard. I was like, oh, well, wait a minute. I do love you. I do love you, Bishop.
In my mind, I'm your favorite client of all time.
But there's one thing to consider, even in that, though. When we lost the opportunity to do other things, we needed to fill space.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be work to do. There's always going to be somebody who needs something. There's always more that can be done, right? So to fill that space.
Yeah.
If we couldn't be connected with someone else, if we couldn't be out and about, if we couldn't be doing things, it was like, well, I might as well keep working. And that's what we filled the space with. It was automatic. That's just how it happened.
It's too easy to grab the laptop and just go on, and I can.
But do you think that that lends itself to you being burnt out?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I think I just, like I said, last month I just basically took teaching time off, and especially, and because I realized I hadn't really taken a break since the pandemic started in March of 2020. I was just every week, it was just like, okay, you get on autopilot and you start doing your thing, and you're pivoting, and you're just, I got to constantly give out. And you're not traveling, you're not going to a bunch of meetings, although sometimes, well, that's another story. Sometimes folks want you to keep going to church. But anyway, but I realized I needed to do something to just, be able to reset my brain a little bit, and like you were talking about there, you can always grab the laptop. You can always, I got to do this. I'm gonna look this up, or I'm going to reach out and watch. And it's like, after a while, you have to, if you're not careful, and I think a lot of leaders found themselves burnt out. I think a lot of people have found themselves just going on fumes, and we have to do something, So I'm glad to hear that you all have done something to take time for yourselves, to rest your brain.
Yes.
Work is always going to be there. Ruby, you're back, and we're better, and we hear you clearly. And just say something.
Hey, everybody.
Say something to the church.
But what was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you how your life has changed since since 20.
Like overall.
Yeah, just kind of any area that you want to pinpoint that is dramatically, not necessarily dramatically, but just different than it used to be.
Well, I'll be honest. I feel like when the pandemic first started and when we shut down, I was a little more connected, almost kind of what Dr. Burrell was saying about having that time where you're only, it's just you and God. And then almost kind of like when we opened back up, I started to be a little more like distracted and not as focused in on like the word and worship time, and because you have all these other things now added back to your life again, and so you have to try to focus, keep that same focus. So that was, the pandemic initially, spiritually, I was like, all right, oh God is and which also goes to, you get out in anything what you put in. And so I have now started to make myself, and pray for the desire to get back and it's working, you know what I'm saying? Just getting back, like really, really like in the word and more worship time and more prayer time. So I guess it changed and then changed back and then now it's back again.
I love it. I think something Vashawn hit on in terms of intentionality. Okay. How are you? Do you all have, and Giovanni talked about it too. How is your scheduling in terms of, really working on your own calendar in terms of, okay, I'm gonna schedule in some breaks. I'm gonna schedule in some time away. I'm scheduling in. How are you? All of you look like you're responding like, yeah. But I mean, but you got to be really intentional about that, because if you don't, work on, your whole calendar, somebody else will fill it up for you, and so people always have a way of moving in on it. And so I think that, and so as Ruby was talking about just being intentional in terms of spending time with God, I think you have to be intentional about just, okay, I'm protecting my calendar. I'm protecting my space. I'm managing my time better than I think that's one of the things we have to learn how to do, is manage our time a lot better.
I was going to say, if I can piggyback on that, something that I did not do in 2019 and 2020, but I started this year, I start blocking out my own calendar before it got filled up, because I would, look up people with book time and I'm like, wait, I don't have a day off in like 3 weeks. So now I literally go through my calendar like, nope. Yeah, I'm going out of town, going on vacation if I want to. Listen, I'm off. And so I have really been very intentional about me time, doing things that I like to do. And so, yes, I am calendaring a lot better.
And it's important. One of the best lessons I had learned, and I probably got to get back. I got to maybe have to retake the whole class again, but learning how to just manage your time. And one of the things that even if you have to learn when you're at your best, what time of day you're at your best, what days of the week are best for you, and learn how to just say, look, this is, even if you have time, if you calendar in time to do nothing but sit there and watch TV or stare into space or breathe or whatever, you have to be able to, make sure that time is booked in. And so if somebody wants to get in on that time, no, I'm booked. I'm sorry. It's I'm not available. I'm unavailable. And you have to be available for yourself. All right. Let me get a couple more.
In that no.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, being confident in the no. Like, it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
There were many
explanation.
Without any explanation, it's like, no, like not this weekend, or no, that's not on my schedule. I had to say no, and I was that pleaser. Like I literally wanted to be there for all of my friends. Anytime they invited me to something, anytime they wanted me to be present, like I was there. And it got to the point where I felt drained, because I was like, I really wanted to just sit at home on the couch.
Right.
And I felt almost obligated to do those things. So I had to be confident in my no.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's tweetable right there. Be confident in your no.
Oh, yeah.
And I always tell people, no is a complete sentence. So use it, you don't have to tell anybody why. It ain't like they're your mama. You ain't got to tell them. I got to tell you. You ask your parents who's up there and they like, no. And then you said, why? That was, then when you woke up, all of a sudden you realize that wasn't the answer, the response to get. Let me ask this question. Are you glad some things have been shut down or changed?
I am. I was gonna say, and this is gonna sound kind of bad. Please hear my heart on this. I am glad to see less of the performative stuff and more of a search for the real. everybody was performing. Hey, we got this going on. Come over here. No, we have this going on. Let's go over there. When it shut down, then you only had the concentrated reel. And I appreciated that because I was kind of tired of the performative stuff. Like, it doesn't impress me. So I'm like, okay, another program, another event. But now it's like, okay, we're having intentional dialogue about A, B, C, or D, or we're going to focus on A, B, C, or D because now we're in a pandemic. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I and as a pastor, as somebody that has been in the church literally all my life, and as all of you all have. So, but as a leader, I was glad that some stuff stopped. You know, I was like really. I kind of feel in a way like Ruby, and even though I know a lot of my members on here now, they're like, "Pastor, you mean you didn't miss us?" I did miss the members, but there was something kind of unique and really good about just being able to come down on a Sunday, and I knew the key people where everybody's going to be here that need to be here in the building on staff and the worship team. And with Ruby and David, and I was like, let's go. And people thought, Giovanni thought we had a full church. And she's like, y'all, we opened already? No, we just going in, with 7 of us in here. But I think that there was a lot, and to piggyback on what Deshaun just said, there was a lot of stuff. And there still is, as you see churches opening up, you're seeing a lot of people that were really hungering for that, to be able to get back into the whole big production thing, but there are some things that aren't coming back.
Right.
Let me say, did I lose there's some things, no matter how much they want it, it's not coming back. And I think the leaders that are going to be progressive are going to understand that, okay, we got to do it in a new way. This is a new approach, a fresh approach. Giovanni, you want to say something about that?
You know what? You just took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say that I'm with you. I'm glad that some things have gone. But what the pandemic did for us as a ministry and other ministries as well, it taught us that there are better ways for us to operate in ministry. It taught us that we don't have to be at service for 3 and 4 hours. It taught us there's a better way to communicate with the sisterhood. There is a easy. Right. We don't have to be down here. You know what I'm saying? Holding the people hostage. It taught us that there is a better way. And I appreciate it. Do we have it all figured out? No, but I appreciate the fact that we're willing to step up and try different things. Maybe this method doesn't work for us or work for you, but we're willing to find out what works for our ministry. So I'm glad that obviously my heart is aches for the souls that we lost. There's so many people that we lost along the way. But I believe that God brings things. He doesn't make any mistake in his method. And it was an eye-opener for the church. An eye-opener for the way we were leading service. I watched your I watched when you did the panel discussion with the other pastors and Suffolk and bishops, and you were talking about the operation and how we had testimony service, and we were kneeling at the altar, and we were doing all this and doing all that. It had its place. It had its place, but now we have to make adjustments. So we all, growing up in church, you're like, okay, we're going to be in, and even Vashan has a different kind of perspective on that because she didn't necessarily grow up in but she came along, and her mother, of course, is a powerful woman of God, but it's the thing is that the way we do stuff, and it's amazing how we like stuff that we do. We like it as a church in general, and we gonna get stuck in this, and we gonna 15 praise breaks. But come on, at some point. At some point, we're gonna have to get on in here and do what we do, and so I appreciate that. Anybody else want to jump in on that? Any thought about some things that you're glad are done to a certain extent, or do you miss the 3-hour service?
Well, we never had. I love my vision because we never had 3 hours service.
We got delivered a long time ago, Ruby.
We always in and out. From another side, like from the artist side, I do miss singing in front of. It's boring singing virtually, like trying to do a concert virtually.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
But that is a different side of it. But I mean, it's still worship though. It's still like praising the Lord. It's just I guess I'll say what I would say I miss, even in church, is having the congregation, even if you don't have a team, like if you pick a good older song or even a newer song, like
that response, that immediate.
Yeah, you can sing and they know the words and you can, and you know what I mean? So it's not like you just singing and that's why I didn't do a lot of fast songs, because with Cora, my sister, it kind of helped me out a little bit sometimes when I was on vocal rest. And Cora was like, yeah, somebody said they're glad that I'm doing fast songs. And I'm like, well, honey, go right on ahead. Me. I feel like it's better if we do just everybody just join into corporate worship. So I do miss, that part of it. But all of the other, like, just nonsense, I don't miss it at all.
Nonsense.
Nonsense.
I
mean, some of it was just a little much, right? Like, now we know it was.
Wait, go ahead and say that. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead.
Unnecessary. Go ahead.
There it is. Oh man.
And we get right to it. We get right to the worship. We get right to the word. Like Bishop Hamilton said all the time, you're not getting delivered. It's not always about somebody, if you're not catching this word, because I was sharing with Bishop Hamilton a couple Sundays ago. Every message has been on point for me. If you're not hearing it, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's there. So I don't know, I feel.
Yeah, you gotta just, I like how you just nonsense, unnecessary. All right. Let me see. Anyway,
made it real plain for the people.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just no. But but see, that's what we need.
She made it real plain for the people. They have no questions.
There's no question, and it's very clear. And I know I have a reputation anyway of being Hamilton's just like gonna be like,
Absolutely.
Gets to the point.
Like, I don't know, but we waiting on we don't want to quench the spirit. Well, the Lord's always ready. It's us. We just got a lot of stuff we want to do. Can I really stop the Holy Ghost from moving? Absolutely not. So let's go. He was here when we got
here. How much power do you have if you can stop the Holy Ghost?
Right, exactly. It's like, we like you got to wait for the Lord to show up. If that's the case, you're doing something wrong. Anyway, let me see. All right, let me ask this. Has your mindset changed? Your mindset, and I think we already talked about that to a great extent, but I think a lot of the things that have changed for many of us is our mindset, our perspective, our focus, and it's. I think we do value people a bit more, but we also value ourselves. I think one of the things that I was noticing. I thought about earlier was when Alexandra was talking about how you got to be able to do stuff by yourself. You got to be able to do stuff for yourself, and Giovanni talked about it too. Because if you don't enjoy your company, don't expect anybody else to enjoy. If you don't like if you don't like hanging around you, but has your mindset changed? Is it more positive? More? Are you still anxious?
I got to be careful with that. I don't know about anybody else, but I have to watch being too cynical because I'm sarcastic just kind of by nature. So, you spend a lot of time alone, and on Zoom. So, sometimes people can't see your facial expressions. So if you have somebody in front of you, you just can't be like, no, you gotta put it in your face. You gotta, be present, not just dozing off on the Zoom meeting. So no, I've had to be more focused and again, more intentional and less cynical. Yeah.
That's cynical. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Wait,
Yeah.
John, what's so funny is after a year and a half of being home on Zoom meetings, the first full session I had in person, I couldn't turn my camera off to make a face. I couldn't turn my camera off to roll my eyes or walk away. You know, I was like,
Listen, and they
you gotta here.
really? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that?
Yeah.
It was a whole
That whole camera on thing, and see, you got to understand, I'm dealing with, you know, church board meetings, not my church, but organizational board meetings. And, we want all the cameras on. Why? And so then I gotta have that blank stare. Anyway, I didn't just say that out loud. See, y'all done got me so comfortable on just talking to you like we're. You know. Anyway, anybody else about their mindset?
I think I'm more positive. Like I was saying before, we talked about it, you know, just stressed out. And I think after, you know, making it through the pandemic and seeing people that didn't make it and I made it, and, you know, my husband got sick, you know, so he had COVID really bad, and just, you know, I just feel like I want to celebrate a lot more, like you were saying in the beginning, to celebrate. Everybody deserves to be celebrated. I feel a lot of that more, and I just, you know, I came out of it definitely more positive. I think I did, instead of taking everything for granted. Even like, you know, sometimes you feel like, oh, because I was telling my mom, like, I just want to be a member. I don't know if I want to do praise and worship. And my mom was like, really? And so
We're going to have to pray right now in the name of Jesus. I'm gonna call your mother. I'm calling mom, and I'm gonna try to get a word to your dad, because the Reverend Al Green is not gonna be happy with you talking about you.
No, they're like, I don't think so. And so now that I appreciate, you know, the gifts that God, you know, all of us that God has given us, and being able to be in position to use those gifts, and God really blessed us to be able to do that. And you shouldn't take it lightly, even though we all get burnt out or whatever. But I came out of it way more positive. Like, I want to come to church. I want to be, you know, I want to sing. I want to lead worship. I want to, you know, be in front of, you know, I love my the position that Bishop Hamilton, you know, gave me. So I have a different outlook.
Oh, recover, sis, recover. Come on.
But that really is the truth. Like,
gonna get, you know, and honestly, and I mean, it's real, because all of us, you know, you have moments where you're like, you know what, I really love to do something else. But especially when you've had the year and a half plus almost 2 years that we've had, you have, you know, you really want to, you reevaluate, you know, what am I doing? What's my purpose? What am I doing here? You know, anybody else want to jump in on that? I know we're going to have to wind up. We've been actually almost an hour, but you know, it's like.
I think I'm the last one. So I'll just say, for me, my mindset, I have learned what it means to be in God's perfect peace. I have learned what it is to have peace and have contentment and be grateful for where I am. For a minute, I was sharing with Bishop that and those times where I was bored, I was on social media just swiping and flipping. And social media is a great tool. But if you spend too much time on the content will tell you you're not good enough. The content will tell you you're not going hard enough, or maybe you're going too hard, or it's confusing and it's all over the place. And why don't I have this companion? And how come I don't have any kids? What's wrong with me? You know, all those thoughts begin to come to your mind. But I thank God for his peace, just letting me know that he's there, and just rest in me. You're going to be all right. Everything's under control. And I just thank God for it, because I'll tell you, things for a minute, I was like, am I in the right place? Am I making the right decisions? Am I doing the right thing? As an entrepreneur, I promise you will question your decisions. Things don't go the way that you plan. You will question your decisions, and one question will lead to another question, and then will lead to another question, and before you know it, you are all over the place. And so what God reminded me of is that I've kept you. I didn't dry up the business. I kept your clients.
Right.
I kept you afloat. I did it for you. And so just to trust him and just to have peace. So that's for me.
Awesome. And anybody else, ladies, go ahead. And two more questions. One is, do you really celebrate your accomplishments?
How is it?
No, do you do you take time to celebrate you?
I know I don't. I feel awkward.
But you have to, I was sharing with Giovanni the other day. I said, the Lord, when he created the heavens and earth, after every single day, he said, that's good. You got to be able to acknowledge when you do something well. And I think that part of the problem with leaders is that we are so busy grinding. And Giovanni makes an excellent point that if you start scrolling down social media, you'll be like, okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. They're on another flyer.
Yeah.
And they're terrible. See, I'll say it. You all don't have to. I mean, they're absolutely terrible. And then you're like, well, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Or what, oh, wow, they had this group over here. And so you're trying to, it's that whole comparison thing. And then that coupled with sometimes our imposter syndrome that Alexandra talked about. And so you'll start trying to, doing something that you're not capable of doing. In other words, you'll get out of your lane. But I think that one of the things that can counteract that is being able to celebrate you, to be able to celebrate when you do something well. When you, like I said, we all need to celebrate 2020, coming out of 2020. I mean, that is, I don't know if we understand how much of an accomplishment that is, how many businesses have closed, how many churches have closed, how many people have lost their jobs and all these things. And you're sitting here, still succeeding, still thriving. I think that's something to be celebrated, but I think we need to learn how to take time out to celebrate what we're doing and that we are accomplishing a lot. And we deserve a pat on the back. And even if we gotta blow your own horn, you be Miles Davis, you blow your own horn, just toot. And so, but I just want to drop that question in your spirit. And then I know, I believe, I don't know, in my shondo, I feel that we have to have another panel. I think we got to do this again. But I want to know what's next for you guys. What are you guys up to? What's going on with you? I know Ruby's got new music. Her latest single. See, I watch this. Her latest single is entitled "It Is What It Is." Get that right now. Go and you can get that on all the social media, all the music platforms. Go get it, and in the name of the Lord. But anyway, what's new? What's going on? What's next for you guys? Don't all jump in at once.
Well, I am hoping to sell 2 of my businesses so I can launch another one next year. So all right, I'm really excited about this.
Real quick, please just quickly tell us how many businesses you have. She's got 13 jobs, but
I'm sorry. That's hilarious.
Terrible. But anyway, tell everybody what the names of all your businesses.
Absolutely. Well, I am a minority woman-owned business owner. I'm a federal contractor, so that's the first part. If you are not federally certified in a business as an entrepreneur, absolutely do that. So my first business is Vashonda Cole Enterprises, which is a full-service publishing house. I've published 3 of my own books. I've got into 2 national chain bookstores as an independent author and publisher. My second business, it started off as a side hustle, Prior to me being an entrepreneur, I was in corporate America for 20 years. So my friends were like, hey, give me a corporate job. So it started off as a side business and then turned into a staffing agency. So that is my second enterprise, Vashon Nicole Consulting. And we focus on targeting recidivism. So I intentionally focus on those that are underrepresented and underemployed, because I feel like if you take care of poverty, you can take care of crime. So that's my second baby. In 2020, if you can believe this, we launched my third business, which is a minority woman-owned tech startup, Vashon Nicole Technologies. And we are creating technology that I'm selling to the federal government. Y'all keep me lifted. There's a lot of red tape, but I'm trying to help, again, the underrepresented. And I have my foundation, and then I have an entrepreneurial advisory company. So I help entrepreneurs become gainfully employed and successful in their businesses. So I've been approached by two investors for two of my businesses, and it's been a faith walk, because I feel like they're my babies. And I'm like, no, I don't want to give you my business, but no, I need to I need to do the next thing. So I bless God that I'll have the opportunity to sell two of those, and then we launch out new next year. So yeah,
Amen.
that's it.
Wow. Come on. And that's why she's on the panel, ladies and gentlemen. Because, I know some really cool people, and you four are four of the coolest people that I know. All right. So that's what she's got going. Who else is next?
I mean, I don't want to go behind
Right.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. Vashon, you made us all feel like we're all like, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything really important. So good night, everybody.
I don't know. Like, how do you go behind Vashon?
I'm shutting down my church, and I'm gonna go on.
My Lord. Okay.
Right. We're done here.
Good night, everybody.
Okay. Amen and amen again. Okay, so I am I'm really working on being the best that I can be in all aspects of life. And so that means being the best daughter, the best auntie, the best friend, the best chief diversity officer. I am continuing in my role and taking ownership of that. I am doing more consulting with a couple of companies, but also beefing up. I have my LLC that also does educational advising and consulting on the side. So wanting to do more in that, and then also working on a book. Now I didn't want to say that out loud because I don't want nobody asking me in 4 months where the book at. But since you asked,
awesome, congrats.
Yeah. So and just being me. I want to. Giovanni said something where she said she was resting in God's peace, and I want that. Like, I really want to. I want to rest in that. So that's my goal.
Amen. Awesome. But see you see how she's subtle. See, because she go act like she ain't doing nothing, but then she's doing a whole lot. See, there you go. See, I know how you see. That was smooth work there. All right.
I'm gonna go before Giovanni because I'm not doing that much. So I'm gonna go first and then let her go, and then she can end it with a big,
I was gonna piggyback off of Dr. Burrell.
I mean, if that's how you want to do it, I'm just saying she can end with her big announcement because I'm working on the album. I'm always working on music though. That's the only thing. And me and my husband started a trucking company because in the pandemic, everybody was using, Amazon and trucks to, do things. So we bought a truck and we have drivers and so God helped us with that. So we started a trucking company, but that's all.
See, don't try to. Hey,
no,
look,
I'm saying I already know.
We're going to celebrate. Don't be downplaying. Now listen. You dropped the bomb and nobody knew about it. Like, oh, what now? Okay. So,
right, you need to be telling people go watch the video because the video is hot. Like what?
Right, come on, see. Come on, come on.
Ruby Green. It is what it is. Go watch all the videos. Ruby Green with
There
an
you go.
I. No E at the end. Just go on YouTube and binge watch.
There you go. I mean, and your previous album was Summer Jesus, right?
Yes.
Right,
yes.
right.
Yes.
That had the hit singles.
What's up?
What's up? What's up? Come on, Saint. Come on, don't be Ruby.
And and I wanted to say, because you said we don't
Celebrate
pat ourselves on the back, celebrate ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I did a remix to Real Jesus with B Slade.
Yeah. Oh, that was crazy.
And
that
it charted. I got up to like number 40 something, but I didn't say nothing because I was
Come on, Saint. Got a top 50 single.
So I did want to, say, when you said that, I'm like, Bishop Hamilton is right. I'm like, go get the album, and then that's it. But God bless me to chart on the gospel.
Yeah, see, there you go. See, come on, that one with her. Well, everything is great, but the one with her and B Slade is just,
he's amazing.
Man, B Slade is a mess, but he's great. But he's also, I love him. And you guys together is just like,
he did a good job.
Anyway,
yes.
B Slade, aka Tone, aka Anthony Williams, aka anyway. But yeah, I know he would get mad. Listen, it's B Slade, sir. All right. But awesome. Glad to hear that. Giovanni, what's going on?
Well, I celebrate all these wonderful ladies. I have heard some wonderful and great things. You guys have just inspired me so much. I would say for me, the next thing on my agenda is I'll be going back to school to get my degree in theology. The Lord has opened up the doors for me to preach in different places, and I just feel I got to go deeper. I feel a responsibility to go further.
She fine. She already got it. All right. Okay. No, go ahead.
I have a hunger for it. I really, really do. So I'll be going back to school. In church, y'all pray, because it's been a minute now. It's been a minute since I did these all-nighters. So y'all.
You gotta play your stuff. Yes, indeed.
Woo. But I'm excited about it. So I'll be going back to school, and then I'm working on scaling my business. Also, just working on. I have some courses that I want to release for ministries. Believe it or not, we have a lot of churches that are still struggling when it comes to being online. They are struggling as far as how to use Zoom.
Some of them are hostage video situations.
Stop that now. Come on, I'm trying to encourage the people, Bishop.
Please come to our church. Blink 3 times, sir. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I'm just teasing. But the truth is, a lot of times what happens is they don't have people on staff to help them. Right. And so I want to make those services available where they know, okay, maybe I don't have the staff in-house, but there's somebody outside that I can trust and rely on that will help us take our ministry to our next level. So the sisterhood is not meeting face to face, but we can still get on Zoom, or we can still have some kind of gathering. We can use the individual rooms or what have you. So I'm working on some courses to really help ministries in that area. So that's it for me, and just enjoying me doing stuff I haven't done before. And
her birthday was last week, and
happy birthday!
Thank you.
And she, next thing I know, I saw her on horseback. She's out.
It was my first time, y'all.
That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. My next thing is I'm gonna go on a hot air balloon. So y'all, that's my next thing. So
amen.
Testing new products.
Well, I celebrate all of you, and I thank God for you. We have to, and if you will be so kind, we can come back. We could do it again, because I'm sure there are some questions that the folks have for you guys. But I don't want to keep y'all all night. It's after midnight. It's already tomorrow with Vashawn, and she's like, listen, this is all well and good. I'm on the West Coast, and I'm in Louisville. So anyway, just want to do a couple of announcements real quick. So hang tight, ladies. If you are, get into somebody's church Sunday, whether online or in person. Giovanni's got Shiloh Temple down there in the San Diego area, where her dad is the pastor. And you're always welcome to Spirit and Life. We're gonna be doing our thing live on Sunday. We'll be back. So all of y'all that have been crying because we wasn't there live last week, we'll be back. And then next week we got TNT is gonna be starting back again. Of course, next week we're gonna probably be dealing with the new agenda. What's new? And then so all that good stuff. So I love y'all. I'm praying for y'all. I thank you so much for tonight. And if you all were blessed by these ladies, make a comment, send up some hearts, send up some love, because they are amazing, and we have to do it again. So thank you all. I really appreciate my friends coming on and hanging out with me for a while. So yeah, we're back. The fall season is getting ready to start. Woo! Anyway, we will see y'all 10:15 on Sunday morning. Tara, my producer, director, is there something I'm forgetting? She said, no, she's tired of me talking. All right. Okay.
Thank you, Tara.
We love you, Sister Tyra.
Yay.
God bless you all. Good night, everybody. Share this with your friends. This was amazing. These are great women, great leaders.
Bye, ladies. Bye,
We love
Bishop.
you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.